Hi, everyone. Neil Douglas, and this is American Truth Finders. I've got this was a sudden decision tonight to do this show. To be honest with you, I did not prepare myself like I would normally do, but I'm hoping that I do get some viewers, and I hope I get some comments because this is something that is really disturbing me. I'm just throwing things away as I would normally do. I always do my show somewhat like I did my radio show, and when I did my radio show, it was always prepared notes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have them tonight because I'm got some things on my mind that I want to get off my mind right now, and I'd like to get your opinions if for those of you that are watching. One of them is Reuters announced that President Trump is going to have the military give us uh, vaccinations when that vaccination becomes available. And I did read a comment that someone made that posted said that the president does not have the power to do that since he declared a national emergency with the coronavirus. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. My question to you is: are you concerned about the fact that the president would have the military be giving out over 3 million or 30 or 300 million, excuse me, vaccines for the coronavirus when it becomes available? Is that Does that have any kind of fear or does it have any kind of thought in your mind? And is that possible that the story is even true? Now, Reuters is the one that actually did the report. And we know that FEMA is given control over local and state uh, health situations or disaster situations, whatever you want to call them, when the president does give an emergency declaration. And he has done so. He's getting a lot of bad publicity. I know that because of the coronavirus. But if he didn't start it, I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, or independent, or what you are. He's not the one that started it. But many of you do not like the way he handled it. I'm asking you the question. Uh, Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate that. It's good to have you here. And also, I would like to mention that the coronavirus is spreading, according to all reports, that it's becoming like a second epidemic of a high overnumbering type of uh, what's the word I want to use? Numbers. Tennessee is in a state of emergency for crying out loud. And now there's 40 some states that are backing away from opening up. I'm beginning to wonder because the CDC has now changed their mind. Scientists across the country now, or around the world, have now said that the coronavirus is airborne, period. And the CDC kind of disagrees in a sense, but I don't trust the CDC any more than I can pick them up and throw them. And I can't pick them up and throw them. But anyway, um, the point I'm getting at is we're getting so many conflicting stories from one day to the next, whether it's the World Health Organization, whether it's the CDC, whether it's The news, no, I don't call. I'm sorry, I got to take it back. Not news, opinions, networks that have opinions, and I'm asking you. Um, Whether or not you think that this is as serious as it truly is being reported or commented on. And if the president should order the military to give vaccines, and he did mention that he would start with the older people, according to this article that Reuters put out. If that's the case, what are your thoughts? Give me some of your opinions. I'm not afraid to take the blunt of anything. For those of you that might be watching, and I can tell how many are, do me a favor and just pass this along. And I hope that you would have your friends join and comment on what we're talking about, because I'm going to cover a couple other things tonight too. Right now, we're talking about the coronavirus and whether or not the president should have the military, when the vaccine becomes available, to give that virus vaccine to the 300 million some people when the vaccine's ready. Do you agree? Now, I know that those of you out there that are, don't be afraid to comment, because you can see it anyway online. People can see it anyway online. So I do want your comments. I'm not going to embarrass you if you don't agree with me. If you do agree with me, that's your total right. That's your total. That's what this is all about. Are the numbers real? Are the numbers really going up? Are things getting worse? You got Florida, Texas, Arizona, now Tennessee, other states. If 40 some odd states are going to back away from opening up completely, is this, what is this going to happen? What's going to happen to the school opening, the universities opening? Is it going to continue to spread? Are they going to do homeschooling? There's so many different things that are on the table that there's a lot to be discussed. A lot to be discussed. I truly wish I had a phone line that people could call in, because I know a lot of people are afraid to comment. But what is the answer? Is the numbers that we're seeing, are the numbers that we're seeing really truthful numbers? Are the death rates going up? Or excuse me, are the cases of the coronavirus going up and the death rates kind of leveling off or coming down? Should the president have the military give us the vaccine when it's available? Because many of you have said you will not take the vaccine. And I understand your reasoning. This is just something that's on the table for now. I also want to mention the CDC, but as you can see already, Joanne Olson. Hi, how are you? Joanne, thank you for joining us. The CDC is prohibiting anybody, is conditioning antibody testing with the actual test for the virus. I see. This is what I question also, because they are totally skewed numbers in my mind. Because if you get tested 3 times, and this is what I have learned to understand, Joanne, and is that the numbers, if you're tested 3 times and you're tested positive 3 times, that is considered a new case each time. Now, any of the rest of you out there or anybody, um, um, this is a very important issue. And for those of you that are watching, tell me why you would be afraid to take the virus or the vaccine. Joanne, she just said, no thanks. I won't take the vaccine, especially if Bill Gates is involved. Well, he is involved. I'm telling you that right now. And for those of you that don't believe me, you can check it out yourself. He has said everybody has to become vaccinated. Everybody in the world. Well, I'll tell you what, he better be first in line, and he better get the same shot that I got if I were to get one. But I don't think I'm going to get one. I think I'll take my chances. The CDC says now, that you don't have to wear a mask. Some people say you do. Some people say you don't. When I say people, I'm referring to scientists. Now the scientists are saying that it is airborne. It is, no matter what happens, it's airborne. I'm completely disgusted with the reporting that we're getting. I don't know how you feel. I'd like to hear how you feel. I'd like to hear what you have to say. So just make your comments. I can read them. Other people can read them. I know people are going to come and go because maybe I'm not touching on their particular subject at this moment. I did this unprepared, and I'm sorry, but after I read today that President Trump is reported by Reuters that he's going to have the federal military, give the vaccination to over 300 million people when it becomes available, hopefully by this fall. Do you agree with that idea with the president that the military should do it? I'm asking that for a simple reason. And that is, what are your thoughts if the president orders the military to give the vaccine? I know what a lot of people are probably thinking, but don't want to say it. I'm asking you to please give me your comments. If not now, you can give them later. There's people will still read them, but this is important. I really appreciate those that are watching, and I'm going to touch on a couple other things as I go along. I'm looking at my clock because I don't want to take up everybody's time tonight. I've already been on for almost 13 minutes, and this is something that really struck me was that particular article. The fact that, Joanne, you nailed it when you said that these tests are being skewed. They're actually, and this has been mentioned several times by different doctors and scientists, and I don't even know who to believe anymore. That if you're tested 3 times positive, for instance, if you get tested by the open test that you're allowed to get, and you test positive, and if you go to the hospital and you test positive, and if you're tested again positive by another source or whatever, each time that you're tested and it comes out positive, that is a new number. How many others of you have seen or heard the same thing? Please comment. Please tell me how many others of you have heard the same comment. This is really because if that's the case, we've been lied to big time, which I believe we have been anyway. I don't know. The death rate they say is, astronomical. I don't even know what it is today. But I'm going to tell you that it could get worse if the numbers anyway, if it continues to grow like it is growing. I'm going to jump to something else real quick. Kanye West says he's going to run for president. And he has got the backing of, my mind just went blank. Anyway, I think he's the head of, is it, I don't know. It's one of the car companies. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And he mentioned that the reason he is to draw the black vote away from the Democrats, and so that they would actually, so that Trump would re-win the election. For those of you that have seen this or read this or heard about this, what do you think about that? Kanye West definitely wants to throw his hat in the ring. He cannot do it as an independent. It's too late because the independents in many states where they are allowed to run as an independent, they can't do it anymore. They're not, it's over with. So he's got to run as some other kind of party. I'm not sure what it is, which one he'll run on. Do you have any thoughts on Kanye West and his running as president to help President Trump become reelected? I want to say something. There's probably other people that look at this and say that, why am I even bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing it up because there's such a division in this country, and we already know that. And I'm telling you what, last night really did it for me when it came to the division. I did check the other broadcast companies to see if they were carrying the celebration of the 4th of July celebration at the White House. And I'm going to tell you, I'm disappointed. I don't care whether they like the president or not. This was about America. This is about America's independence. But for them not to carry this at all, the only parts that I saw, I think, was CNN carried the airplanes that or whatever. None of the president's speech, that's their right. I mean, they're a private company. That is their right. But what do you think about it? What do you feel about last night? If you saw it, I don't even know if you watched it, because so many people couldn't go to fireworks. So the White House did their second annual White House fireworks and their celebration of Independence Day. Do you know that we are the only country, I'm a little tongue-tied, that has the Emancipation Proclamation that freed anybody? We're the only country. And when we celebrate the 4th of July as an independent country, to celebrate our independence, we should be proud as Americans, because all colored people, white, black, yellow, brown, whatever your color is, you live in this country, you are an American. You are part of this country. You may disagree with it, and that's your right. But I'm going to tell you, many of what you see out there, where there are people stomping on our American flag, saying that they hate America, don't want to be a part of America, will never be a part of America. My answer to you is leave. If America's that bad, leave. Because you're not going to, listen, there's more of people that love this country that will not allow you to destroy it. Will not allow you to destroy this country. If you don't like it here, if you think it's that bad that you can burn and destroy and tear down monuments and stomp the flag and destroy other people's lives, leave America. Go someplace where you can be tolerated. That is, if you can find a place that will allow you to keep your head even, if you speak out against their particular way of life. For those of you that might have anything to say, please say it. If you want to bring up a different topic, please bring it up. Because tonight, when I said this was an unannounced video or live broadcast, which it is, I was very serious. And um, I'm going to read a couple that more articles here or items, excuse me, that Joanne Olson. Joanne, I got to tell you, she's so patriotic. You got to love her. Uh, she said, "No, that would mean our freedom is completely gone. I just cannot believe President Trump would do that." She's referring to the military giving the vaccine. You know, I hope that that is an incorrect article also, but and Reuters is does lean to the left. I know that for sure. So possibly that is not a totally correct uh, co- comment or commentary, whatever you want to call it. And she's she also says that she's heard that numbers are all wrong and too many different doctors read an article from the Atlantic. Oh boy, about this. You know, you're right about that. Uh, Thank you, Joanne. I believe the 4th of July is about America, not the Trump family. I didn't see the fireworks, and I didn't either, uh, um, because well, as you put it, you have a dog situation that has a meltdown from fireworks. And I'm sorry to hear that because any of you that have pets, you know what she's talking about. If they hear those fireworks, it scares them. Some dogs have seizures. Some dogs just are just fearful, even of thunder. So I didn't watch the fireworks. I our pets, we lost them, you know. So that's something that happens, unfortunately, and I have not replaced them. I want to get back to what's going on because this is an election year, and so much of what's happening, whether it's a coronavirus, whether it is the border control, whether it's Hillary could have done a better job, whether it's Biden hiding in his bunker, as they say, as they call it. This is an election year. I find it odd that even the Democrats cannot celebrate. And I'm sorry, I am picking on the Democrats tonight. I have picked on the Republicans in the past, and I'll pick on anybody or any party or anybody that belongs to a party that I think is speaking anti this country and the people. We don't talk about the vets and how from World War One or World War Two even that was at that was celebrated the 4th of July. Oh my gosh, what heroes those people were. And yet, how were they treated by the Veteran Association, the Veteran Administration? I'm sorry if I'm tongue tied at times tonight, but I'm very frustrated. Anyway, I want to get back to the fact that uh, I haven't seen, I didn't, you know, they might have said Happy 4th of July, but I don't recall seeing any of it. Hillary Clinton says she could have done a better job of containing coronavirus. You know, Bill, or excuse me, uh, Joe Biden says he could have done a better job. You know, it's funny because one side, when Trump didn't close the border at first, said he waited too long. When he did close it, they said he did it too soon, and he shouldn't have done it. People out there, they can't make up their mind that are supposedly wanting to be leaders in our country. I know I've jumped around a little bit tonight, but you know what? Guess what? I'm waiting and expecting your comments. I want to know. I want to know what your thoughts are. The coronavirus is back, according to all reports. My honest opinion is I'm questioning it. I don't doubt that it exists. I don't doubt that it exists. But is it truly, really back? Or is this a setup for us to be forced to take the vaccine? And if so, how will you react? That was my main reason for tonight wanting to talk about this. This was one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up about President Trump saying he'd have the military give us the vaccine when it becomes available. I'm seeing reports that the pill that President Trump took worked. I can't even pronounce it. I can't, one of those long words that everybody pronounces a little bit different. Anyway, they fear that because of the heart issue that it can cause people. Well, guess what? If they've been giving it to people that have epilepsy and people who have lupus, and it's been working for years and years and years and years and years, or people that have actually had this virus and it did cure them, is it because there's no profit in it for the pharmaceutical companies? So the CDC, the FDA, I should say, excuse me, the FDA has banned it. Has banned it. Joanne says that the Democrats want the economy shut down until after the election because it will hurt Trump. You know something? I have to agree in that situation. Totally agree. Do I think it's going to work? No, I don't think it will because the economy is still growing. The economy is still growing, and we're not that far away from where it was before the coronavirus, so I'm not sure. But you have a very good point, Joanne. They do want to shut down the economy. They don't want businesses to open. They don't want, they'd rather give out money to people to stay home and not work. Now, if you're one of those that are working, I know you're not making as much as you would if you were drawing the unemployment of $600 a week or whatever they were giving you. But my hat's off to you if you went back to work. This whole, it's a political election year, a very important one. And I hope that you people will go out and vote. Vote with your conscience. Vote with your heart. Vote what you feel is right for this country. I mentioned Kanye West. I've mentioned Joe Biden. I've mentioned President Trump. And I'm going to tell you, if you think I'm going to read that, Joanna, and pronounce it right, I hope you're laughing. She says that actually she was on hydroxychloroquine for over 2 years and no problems. And your rheumatologist is talking about putting you back on it. Can your rheumatologist actually even prescribe it? Because it's my understanding they can't even prescribe it anymore. Maybe can you answer that, Joanne? Do you have time? Because that's a very important thing. Because I honestly truly don't believe if it's been used for lupus, and it's been used for epilepsy, or excuse me, seizures, same difference, and has not killed any of those people, then the hydroxychloroquine, I think, should be left up to the doctor. The FDA says, nope, you can't have it. So CVS says they won't sell it. They won't prescribe it. Nobody will prescribe it. Walgreens, it's just, you can't get it. He can prescribe it if it is available, you said. Well, it's available, but will the pharmacist actually fill it after the FDA has said it is not allowable? There's how many millions of prescriptions of it available, for crying out loud. Is anybody else out there that had the hydroxychloroquine? If you have, please message us. And because this is a supposedly a very workable plan to help people who have it. And right now, the younger generation is the one that has the virus, but they can spread it to older people, their parents or their grandparents. I said that on my last video. And I do apologize that I did not announce this earlier, that I was going to do this, but this really hit me when I saw about President Trump saying that the military would be doing the vaccines to over 300 million people. Because I'm not sure, I have to do more research, because this was reported by Reuters. It's in a generic drug, Joanne says. There's no money for the big pharma. Well, see, that's what I said before, that there's no money in it. So why wouldn't the FDA get rid of it? Because they're in the pocket of the pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies, as far as I'm concerned. Your pharmacist will fill it. That's great, Joanne. I'm glad, because I know if you're suffering from an arthritic problem, it's very, very painful. I know people who have suffered tremendously. And it's sad, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I hope that you will be put back on it if it's going to help you. I truly do. For those of you that did join me tonight, I'm grateful, especially at such short notice. For those of you that did watch and are afraid to comment, I understand. But these are important things for you to think about and talk about. The virus, and if the military should be the one to give it, when it becomes available. Don't talk about the injection. And the other thing is the election coming up, with Kanye West wanting to take votes away from Joe Biden. So he's going to jump in somehow. And I wished I could remember, is it Moss? Is that his name, last name? Anyway, that is supporting him. Because he wants to, he knows that he can pull black votes away from the Democrats. And I want to say one thing about the Black Lives Matters. I definitely do not believe, because they had mentioned they would start a party, which I have no problem with. But these are the real people of America. These are not the paid people of George Soros that are trying to take down and destroy our country, along with Antifa. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this very strongly. And for those of you that can agree, you can agree. If you don't agree, I understand. I respect your opinion. But I'm going to say this: when President Trump mentioned the internal terrorists that he has called them, and I call them the same thing, with the Black Lives Matter and the that are run by outside groups. And I'll tell you who it is. It is George Soros. I wish Donald Trump would name him. If he wants to help his election, name him. If he wants, if he wants to get reelected, name George Soros, because he is the one that is trying to bring down this country along with Antifa. So he hires people to come in and destroy this country, burn it down, take it down. And that goes for you as well, Colin Kaepernick, because if you don't like this country, get out. I'm saying that to anybody, not to the people that love this country. There are so many black people that love this country. There's so many brown people that love this country. There are so many Oriental people that love this country. There are so many American Indian people that love this country. They are not the ones tearing it down. It is the outsiders being paid to come in and do it. Those people that don't have anything to do with this country, they won't even celebrate. Matter of fact, they tried to stop the presidents from going to Mount Rushmore, that they want to take that down too, which that'll never happen. I'm going to tell you that right now. Columbus, Ohio, I mentioned the other night, they want to change the name of Columbus, Ohio. You know, come on, because of Christopher Columbus. Wake up, America. This is time. This is time. We either lose it or we keep it. And I'm talking about America. I'm talking about our freedom. You either give it up or you keep it. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to anybody who believes in this country. If you're a Democrat and that's what you want to vote, you vote. If you are a Republican and you want to vote Republican, then vote. If you are an independent, the same thing applies to you too. Or what, libertarian, I don't care what you are. If you love this country and you want to keep it, then get out and vote. But I'm going to tell you what I think right now. The way that things are that are pulling Joe Biden towards the left, I'm going to tell you right now, it scares the hell out of me. Because if he does get elected, I'm afraid. And I'm saying this not because I detest Joe Biden. It's because I fear the people that will be pulling him to the left so far that George Soros will win his battle to tear down this country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you. It's up to you. I know I've gone on way too long and I'm sorry, but guess what? There are those issues that are important to me. I hope they're important to you. In the meantime, if you can hang on about 2 more minutes, I'm gonna get off of here. Remember this, Joanne Olson, you said it when you said that this is an election year. And right now, I am, I don't care if you don't know my politics, nobody does. My beliefs, it doesn't matter. But I will tell you this, I do definitely believe that this country is trying to be brought down so that Trump will not be reelected. He's not a Washington insider, but he's sure. Let me tell you something. I defy any of you to tell me what he's done that is so bad that he's destroyed this country, because you can't. He didn't start the virus. He's tried to help stop it. He's listened to his advisor, the whole thing. And Joanne just said everyone I know is voting, and they're voting in person, and that's great. I'm glad that's happening. I don't trust mail-in ballots. There was one case of I think it was a sheriff that was running for office or something like that. I don't remember. Where they found somebody saw the postman throwing all of the mail-in ballots in the trash in the dumpster. So they went and got him and reported it. that postman should be fired, and I hope he was. Ladies and gentlemen, I've run out of time because I've gone way, way over what I did. I thank you for watching. I love all of you. This is Neil Douglas, American Truth Finders. Good night, everyone.